This is the Will Clayton Church of Christ in Lubbock, Texas. This is March the 1st, 2020. Our evening message is how to build up a strong spiritual soldier in Christ. How to build up a strong spiritual soldier in Christ. Our text is 2 Timothy 2, verse 1 through 19. One of the things we want to deal with is we build up or edify the soldiers in God's army. This is what we do. We train them with the teachings of God's Word. And so, God's out prayer. Good to see Brother Keith Henson. God bless him. Made it back safe. We're praying for him this morning. He make it back safe. Thank the Lord. We got an extra blessing. We didn't know he'd be in the number. So we train them with the teaching of God's Word. And this is why I think the church has to understand its responsibility is the church's responsibility is to be led by the person who's doing the evangelistic work, whether he be an elder, a deacon, whatever, doing a dual role in building up the soldiers. When you don't see the saints being built up, there's a problem. I want to clarify built up. Built up does not mean that you always like what you hear. It means that your soul is developing. So therefore, if your soul is developing and growing, you should have an ability to teach if you want to teach, to serve in any capacity you should desire to serve in, to be able to reach out and tell people things that can cause them to be lifted up. We know you aren't developing if it's being taught and you can't do it. I want to make sure I get that right. If it's being taught and you as a man or woman are saying, I don't feel I'm growing, you know, one of the things a lot of saints will do is if they feel that way, they'll just disappear. They'll just go to another church. That's just a move. And they'll say a lot of things when they leave, but they won't talk to the church. They won't sit down with the leaders and explain. They won't say, I don't feel I'm growing. If they say, I don't feel I'm... They say, well, in what way? See, if my leg is shorter than the other one, I'll be clear to answer you. I don't feel my right leg is growing at the same length as my left. So, okay, well, man, that's very unusual. I don't know if food or anything can help that. Doctors may tell me things, but I can't just go to a doctor and say, I don't feel I'm growing, doctor. And he may say, what do you mean? I don't feel my body developing right. He got to take some measurements. He's going to look at me. He's going to look at my stature, my posture. He's going to ask me my age. He's going to know you seem to be developed fairly well. You know, you can Google and find out what is the weight doctors think that a 60-year-old man should weigh. You know the weight that doctors think a 60-year-old man should weigh is about 200 pounds? They think that's a good weight. Because they're not, some people say, well, that's pretty hefty. No, if you're in good shape, 200 pounds is a good weight. If you 60. You might say, well, I didn't know. Google it. I remember Keith talking about that. Google it. And that's obviously they're looking at the average height. They're not looking at men who are real tall or men who are real short. So they have an average. So a doctor would weigh you. He'd look at your weight. He'd look and he said certain techniques he'd check to see if your body has developed. If it's developed properly. The lawyer age, he's looking for different developmental growth. The saints know that too. But the doctor may ask you, what do you eat? When he gets to jotting down what you eat, he says, some of this stuff you can lay off, but you seem to have a pretty healthy diet. What makes you think you're not growing? That's what he's going to ask you. And you should have an answer. If you say, well, I measured myself last year and I was 5'6", at a doctor, and I went to another doctor, he said, I'm 5'3". And he looked and said, well, I checked you out, you are 5'6". I don't know what the other guy's problem was, or the lady, but you're 5'6". You didn't lose anything. If the physical can do that, the spiritual is greater. See, anything physical is flawed, because it's altered. It's altered by many things. Spirituality is perfect. It's perfectly lined out. People sometimes need to just be real and say, there's some people that I don't like and I'm tired of going. Be real. Nobody going to get mad. You don't have to call and just say, it's some people that I don't like. And I'm going, you may say, well, see, there's a problem because you got to tell them. I've told them and I'm leaving. That's it. Because if you lie and say you don't feel that, it's going to be known. But people don't understand. Nothing can take down one of Christ's churches. No money, no bodies, no sayings. You can't take down Christ. If it's Christ, even Gamaliel in his mind stuck on Judaism and not turning to Christ said, I know one thing. If it's of God, you won't be able to take it down. So be careful. So that's all he needed to know. So he knew, I'm not going to obey it, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to try to beat him. Y'all need to leave him alone. And I think we need to understand it because a lot of times saints look at some unusual things. I always wonder, Jesus was a man working a ministry on the earth. And the most he could get was 120. That number has bothered me since the first day I read it. And he's no longer on the earth working as a man. He's not, I say we work around, but he's not working on the earth as a man. So I don't hear Jesus giving us numbers to reach. Because he could not go past his 120. He says, greater things you'll do, but how much greater? So, in most people's eyesight, if you preach for 3.5 years, at least in some churches' eyesight, you got 120 people, that's it? But I always tell people, I said, did you count Jesus' numbers? That's a carnal mentality. God doesn't measure spiritual growth by numbers. He measures it by development of souls. Because hell got bigger. So hell should be the place to go. He had to renovate hell to make it stretch in a metaphoric sense. Because he built it for only one group, the devil and his angels. Heaven is made for everybody. I hope you understand, heaven is big enough to house every person ever made from the first to the last. Babies in the stomach, when women die and everything. Because it's made for the people he made. But he knows that some people are going to turn their back on him. So he has to stretch out heaven. Stretch out hell to accommodate the newcomers. That's very sad. But nevertheless, the church is in the business of building souls up for service in the Lord. Whoever is the one that is saying, I'm setting things in order, you can count on me, whether it be an elder, an evangelist, whatever, it's that neck that you grab first by the word of God and sharpen and say, what's going on? Because the material is here to build the soul. But if the evangelist doesn't want the souls built, and the church doesn't want the soul built, I was listening to Sister Carr on a recording in Bible class, and she said a brother told her, she didn't get a name, we don't want her name, but it's too embarrassing. But he told her, Sister Carl, but we're saying, what if the church don't want the others? And she came out the right answer. I love the right answer. Amen. You just keep telling them and keep encouraging them to grow and develop. Just keep teaching the word, encouraging them to grow and develop. You can't stop. That means you'd have to have a continued message. We need elders and deacons and Bible teachers. We need to have brothers step up. Lord, dang, we've got a class for you. If it's not a good enough date, I'll talk to your person. Because see, at the end of the road, each saint is brought individual. One thing about the military I learned, and this is an army we're in, that's what we're talking about soldiers. When something would go down, they bring us in by ourselves, one by one. Boy, they get you too. They sit down, you want some coffee, talk to you so nice. If they got a recorder, they hit a recorder. Okay, well, you with them on the day of so. What did you hear Sergeant so-and-so say? You don't get to talk to each other now. When you leave out, you don't get to tell them what you said. They got guys standing at the door. They love to pull that weapon out. They love to pull it out. Say, okay, now you go in next. And look at you. You through while you still in the building. Go get your sandwich, man. You done. You don't get to talk. See, because you already went in. And they got everybody lined up. So you don't get to say, I said this. And a lot of times they get right down to, sometimes they don't because people lie. God has the same system. At the judgment, you come in and you don't get to go out and say, hey, Keith, let me tell you what you told me. Keith, you remember this happened to us? I told him, no. You go to the place of rest or torment. So the soldier, when you look at the army, you have no choice but to recognize there's something that must be wrong with the leader of that particular army, or that platoon, or that group, or that squad. Here's the reason why. Because they're not developed. They don't march straight. They're not acting right. They're not moving right. Something is wrong. I asked the guy a question that the base of people know. He couldn't answer. Who's this platoon sergeant? And they start going up the ladder. Who's this squad leader? They start going up the ladder, start asking questions. Before you know it, they'll be right to the top. And they're going to start with that one. That's why you see sometimes people terminated. You say the White House fired someone. You say, well, what happened? How did he get fired? He didn't even do it. He was over it. And he obviously didn't strike enough fear in everybody's heart to let them know, if you mess up, it's your neck we wring. Because I'm not losing my job. He didn't put enough fear in them, and they cut him. See, the way things work is like this. I got to cut the one that's over it because he had the tools to lead. And so let's look at this. One of the things we have to understand, and we got to accept it, saints, and there's nothing you and I can do to change it. It's 2 Timothy chapter 2 lays it out. And I found out brethren hate when you read scriptures. I can tell you that now. So you want to make an enemy, just read the scripture. Because the scripture came straight from the Lord and you can't do nothing with it. It causes more trouble than you even want to imagine. 2 Timothy 2:1. Now therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Christ Jesus, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. So I would teach a faithful man to teach another man also what he must do in the kingdom. So it shows me it's transferable. Me as a teacher, I don't have to worry about me knowing everything. Just say the right words, and those that learn, they will also help me. Verse 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. So don't quit, don't give up, don't curse folks out. Verse 4. No man that warreth entangle himself with the affairs of this life. So you got to keep your focus. You cannot let your private life cause you to not be able to perform spiritually, that he may please him that chosen him to be a soldier. And if a man also strive for masteries, yet he is not crowned except he strive lawfully. And we want to use the meanings of these two words. We're going to look up the word masteries because it is important for us to define. It says if he strive for this, the masteries, this honorary wreath is what they would get. A crown. What's our crown? We get a crown, saints. Jesus says so important, don't let anybody take it from you. So we're striving for the crown. G 4737. G for Greek 4737. Now the other word here is lawfully. G for Greek 3545. G for Greek 3545. Legitimately. Oh my goodness. Specifically, agreeable to the rule of the lists. I love to pronounce that one. Lists. There are several lists that you must display and teach to the soldiers in God's army. You are like the platoon leader. You're not the head army, you're the platoon. You got to tell them, stand in line, parade, rest, left flank. You got to know all that. You got to teach them how to march, teach them how to wear his clothes, look at your belt if it's lined to make sure your loins are girt. The soldier got his armory, his gear, listen in Ephesians 6. So he says that you must be able to strive for the crown lawfully, or you won't get it. The husbandman that laboreth must be first partakers of the fruit. Now sometimes people look at this as if to say, well, that means he gets to eat the blessing. In this context, it's not talking about that. It's talking about you have to be a partaker. If that fruit is poison, you get to eat it first. You got to eat it first. It's not your garden. So if you think, well, I'm gonna pass it on to the owner, no, you eat it. If you drop that, it's poison food. So you got to take a bite into faith. You got to. You got to be a believer. You got to be able to defend the gospel. You got to be able to not deny the Lord. If the gospel isn't good enough to help you with your issues, why are you giving it to us? You got preachers like that. Oh, yeah. They'll tell you the rules, but they don't follow the rules. They'll tell you be the head of your house, but they anything but the head of their house. Head of the house will have nothing to do with bossing people around. It has to do with being a leader. If you're going to tell people in your house don't smoke weed, guess who should be the first not to smoke weed? You. Isn't that amazing? If you tell people don't have MD 2020 bottles sliding from under the seat and jamming the brake, make sure yours are not doing that. It's by example. That's all it is. That's all. If you tell a young man be a man, make sure you're manly and not effeminate. Hello, amen. Amen. If you're going to tell a woman be strong and upright, make sure that if you're teaching your daughter that, don't be talking about your wife. Y'all get it? See, that's what it is to be a leader. So if you're not a leader in the house, you telling me you got to lead your family. Man, he don't know how to handle himself in his own house. And you don't know how to handle yourself. You know it always comes up to light after some time. It floats up. If you're not being a man in the sense of making the effort. We're not saying you got to be Jesus, because you can't. If you're not being a man in the house. And that's your job. That's the areas we test. Test the house when you want to be a leader. Test the job. You can't talk holy in church and cuss at work. Just can't do it. Y'all don't understand, man. These people don't have faith in God. Sometimes you got to cuss a joke out. No, you don't. If you plan on going to heaven. But they not saints. It doesn't matter. If they are devil worship and come with a red devil suit on tail, you can't cuss him out. Because you just joined this team. You can't. And so the idea is, it says here that you must, see, this talk about, you got to protect the fruit. That's why it says strive lawfully. You must follow the rules too. You can't bend the rules and hide. You can't. So he says, consider what I say, and the Lord give the understanding. Watch this. In all things. Remember that Jesus Christ of seed today was raised from the dead according to my gospel. When I suffer trouble, you're going to suffer trouble in the gospel. As an evildoer, they're going to treat you like an evildoer. Even unto bond, but the word of God is not bound. People treated Paul like he didn't love them. They said he didn't care about them. They said he wasn't fair. All manner of things. Say he wasn't a real apostle. This is pathetic. Therefore I undo all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Christ Jesus with eternal glory. It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he will also deny us. See, it switches that. If we deny him, he's going to deny us. What does it mean deny? That's not saying I deny Jesus. Deny him in a lifestyle. That's how we do. You married. You want to visit outside of even the country that you live in, with a bunch of rowdy guys or ladies that like to party hard. And you go out with them. Some married, some single, but all of them acting like they single that night, and you go out with them. For all you know, too much has been drank, and then you're in the wrong bed. They may never find out back home, but at heaven is going to catch you. Because God knows where Istanbul is too. He made it. He knows right where. He knows the person you was with and everything. Reason why you can't live like that is because, not man, but what God knows. See, there are lists. There are different regulations you must be in agreement with. When you say I'm in agreement with the Lord, will allow the devil, okay, you can test him. He's in agreement. And he comes and he tests you. You cannot play like this. See, sometimes you have the people who act right with God, but they use external circumstances to prevent drama. The pill. I don't get pregnant, but I'm having sex like a rabbit. Let's just be real with it. Yeah, well, you know, my wife wear makeup, but I pop in her face every now and then. Oh yeah, I'm telling you real stuff that go on now. I'm no saints who have to live like this. You look good, but inward is a rotten bone, like a white, pretty white tomb. And God will not receive it. So he says, that's a denial. That's how you deny Christ. You say you're saying, but you don't live it. If we believe not, yet he abideth faithful, he cannot deny himself. That's another, this is my goodness. He says he's going to deny you, and then he's not going to deny himself. These things put men in remembrance, charging them before the Lord, that they strive not about words to no profit, but the wording of the hearer. See, if a word doesn't profit you spiritually, that you're talking about concerning God, he says don't argue about that. For a person to try and argue how an ephod looked is ridiculous, because we're not going to ever wear one. Nor will we use one like David to pray. So if you strive about, I'm going to tell you, man, I'm going to tell you what Josephus said about an ephod. What do I care about that? It will not profit me if I could make one just like Aaron wrote. If I could make one exactly like Aaron, it will profit nothing. It's worthless. So he says, study to show thyself approved unto God. That means you will find out what you should be teaching, and working that need not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. But shun profane and vain babbling, for they will increase unto more ungodliness. And their word would eat as doth a canker, like cancer, of whom is Hymenaeus and Philetus. Gangrene, gangrene is something else. Other than your foot turn, finger turn, green, it literally turn because it's dying. And then, it don't stop. It's like a snake. It just keeps eating, and just keeps eating, and just keeps eating in your body. It has to be cut off. Verse 18, who concerning the truth have erred, saying the resurrection is past already, and overthrow the faith of some. These people who teach this 70 AD thing, that Christ already had came and resurrected the souls. One of the things they lack is proof text. We were discussing that today. We have 10 that we could count 10 times Old and New Testament that men were raised from the dead. They literally were dead and they came back to life. Christ is one of the 10. We don't have any report past Eutychus. So why would we discuss it or believe it? There's no report of Jesus coming back yet, raising the dead. We can go into other arguments about, death is still here, why people still being born. But the main one is we don't have a scripture. And you know what I've learned? If you don't give me a scripture, why are we talking about it? Muhammad is a good guy, some say. And he believed in Jesus. And I don't have a scripture on Muhammad in my Bible, so I'm sorry. We're not going to even discuss it. Why are we going to discuss it? See, when you live like that, you're safe. You can save others. Because I'm going to tell you something about life. When the devil hits you just right in the mouth, and sometimes we've had injuries, you start getting mad at everything around you. If somebody hits you in your mouth just right, if you don't watch it, you'll get mad at people that come up to you and say, what's wrong? Well, don't touch it. Don't touch it. You're getting mad because you're in pain, man. Embarrassment. Well, who hit you? Oh, treat me like a baby. That's what happens when you get hit by Satan in the mouth. You start getting mad at saints that want to comfort. When they ask what's going on, stay out of my business. And the last one you want to talk to is God. Because I don't know why he let Satan hit me in the mouth. He said he loved me. But when you're balanced and you know what you're doing. See, let me tell you something, saints. There are some things very scary can come into your life. Some men have killed their spouse, their children, and even their pet when they have lost a job. See, we don't know income. You got some people making $300,000 a year like you make $5 an hour. I mean, a regular human just make $5 an hour. They're making $300,000 a year with perks. They driving a company truck home. They getting free fuel. They got a beach home, all kind of stuff. They might be on HGTV ripping up a nice place, building a new one. They lose that. And then they're banned from getting other employment. Oh, don't let it be a lie. You had a guy just came back and shot up in a mall. Thank God it didn't kill nobody last time I checked. Because he had just gotten fired from some establishment he was working at. Just recently, a few days ago. Disgruntled worker. You're going to shoot a guy over there trying to buy a biscuit. He don't even know you or your cause. Amen. He may have been there wanting to help you get something filed, but you are so mad because your life not right. I've seen saints take their lives, brethren, That one going to stick with me forever. Judas, and then a personal friend I knew. Take their life. So you can't tell the saint kingdom that if the soul isn't built up, it's going to be okay in the morning. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because Satan doesn't look at his chart and go, let's see, this guy's going through some things. I'm not going to bother him now. If he see he going through something, put him at the top of the list. Go get him now. We can get that soul. Because he's probably already mad at God. We got to understand what we're dealing with. There's no room for us trying to teach the truth. Just teach what the Lord say. No additives, no subtractions. And so, they try to overthrow your faith. Because one of the things the 70 AD people get angry with is they keep saying, you're getting people scared about the judgment. There goes the red flag. They all say that. Yeah, they do. You go, oh, so that's what Satan got you doing. You're a child of the devil. You're a child of the... You don't want people to fear the judgment so they can go to hell. Always tell brethren, let the child of the devil talk. He too stupid to hide a secret. She too stupid to... She can't keep quiet. He can't keep quiet. But you got to let him talk. Let him tell you, oh boy, you can't. And just keep letting him talk. And they go, boom, there's the red flag. Oh, you don't want people to know about the judgment. That's why you're teaching the resurrection. Oh, we got you now. Time to leave. I knew you wasn't right. See, because if you fear the judgment, guess what? You walk right. If you feel the resurrection happen, you walk right because you know you got to die. But the teaching is you die and go straight to heaven. Isn't that amazing? Wow. That's what's wrong with false information. It's always hooked to hell. Like the prostitute, her feet go deep down in the hell. You know what's wrong with somebody's feet in something? If my feet in water and I'm getting shocked, when you touch me, I got you. But my feet sunk in the water. I'm holding something hot. I reach your hand out. They tell you, knock the hand off of the wire with a stick. Don't hit it with metal because it got you in. It jumps. It's beautiful. Simple teaching, but nevertheless true. They must know who is their leader and your leader. Look at 1 Timothy 2 and 5. 1 Timothy 2 and 5. For there is one God and one mediator between God and man, the man Christ Jesus. The soldier in God's army, as you being a teacher and a trainer, must know who is your leader and their leader. One mediator. They must be taught fully how to be dedicated to God and He alone. He alone. Look at Matthew 19 and 16. Full dedication to God and He alone. Matthew 19, 16. It says, and behold, one came and said unto him, good master, what good things shall I do that I may inherit eternal life? He said unto him, this being Jesus, why callest thou me good? There's none good but one, that is God. See, that is singular. That is. He said, okay, now this is who I'm pointing you to, God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. Look at John 14, 28. None good but the Father. The Gospel of John 14, 28. Ye have heard I said unto you, I go and come again unto you. If you love me, you would rejoice. Because I said, I go unto the Father. For my Father is greater than I. Still focus on God. Still focus on God. 1 Corinthians 15. Jesus is the perfect Son. 1 Corinthians 15. He says here, verse number 22. For as in Adam all die, even so in Christ shall all be made alive. But every man in his own order. Every man in his own order. Christ the first fruits, after they that are Christ at his coming. Then cometh the end, when he shall deliver the kingdom to God, even the Father, when he shall put down all rule and authority and power. For he must reign, so he put all enemies on his feet. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. For he had put all things under his feet. Watch this, verse 27. But when he said all things are put under him, the him is Christ, it is manifest or made known that he, the he is God, is accepted, which did put all things under him. Paul is saying, everything under Christ but God. Because God not going to put himself under Christ. That's power. They must know, third point, God's mission. Look at Luke 19. You know, you would think, you know, some of these guys have these classes, you know, it's beautiful, but they're labeled advanced Bible studies. You go like, ooh, scared to go in there. You know, our brother need to really check themselves. God love them. Advanced Bible. Who would not want to have all the knowledge of God? Luke 19 and verse 8. And Zacchaeus stood and said unto the Lord, Behold, Lord, half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have taken anything from any man false accusation, I restore him fourfold. That was his thought. Jesus didn't tell him to do that. Verse 9. And Jesus said unto him, This day of salvation come to this house. For as much as he is also the son of Abraham. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which was lost. That's the mission. Seek and then save that which is lost. Look at Titus 1:5. What is the evangelist's job? Well, Titus is being told, same job for us today. Whoever doing evangelistic work. Titus 1:5, For this cause left I thee in Crete, that thou shouldest set in order the things that are wanting, and abuse and use the saints at will. That's in your Bible. Huh? Isn't that sad? Oh, let's try this. To set things in order, and hold and suppress all men down, that you may be the chief among all. No. Set things in order that are wanting, and ordain elders in every city, as I appointed thee. You know, this is amazing. That men don't understand it. You know, we have the same mission as Jesus. Look at Luke 4 and 18. Do you know if you don't teach what Jesus taught, you will not accomplish the things that Jesus did, because Jesus said, you'll do greater works. So you have to be doing the same works, just more of. Luke 4 and 18. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he had anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He had sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, recovering sight to the blind, to set at liberty to them that are bruised. We do these all in spiritual form. Every one of these we can. Because Jesus is talking about spiritual form. When he heals the blind, he's showing, I can heal you, can't see. Because the Pharisees had two good eyeballs, but they couldn't see spiritually. Jesus was showing them, I want you to see spiritually. But he said, well, since you say you can already see, then your sin stays with you. I can't do nothing for you. Jesus said, those that are healed, they don't need a physician to preach the acceptable year of the law. See, we have to go back and point out that was acceptable year of the law when he came. So we're teaching the same thing. Fourth point. They must be taught to be fearless. A soldier. 1 John 4 and 17. You know what they do when they train you in certain military maneuvers? Hold your finger at 1 John 4 and 17. They shoot live bullets above your head, but they shoot them far. And they have to watch it because y'all know y'all shoot on angle because them bullets come back down. That's real rounds, man. People shooting, you know, noisy stuff. Sometimes they may shoot blanks. When they really get deep in, they shooting real bullets. No, don't raise your head up and act no fool. You might get. And everybody sign papers. Trust me, you gonna sign some papers. It's so thick you need a lawyer to read it. And you come up there and talk about this happened. Well, you know, we told him don't step on that area. He did. The trap lifted up and lit his leg off. We're so sorry. He was always disobedient. They didn't have a sheet that long on you. Look, he cussed out the sergeant here. He shot a bird finger at the lieutenant 3 weeks ago. They got you. They just say, son, you just don't have your leg no more. You need to listen. You blessed it didn't kill you. And they train you through real, make you crawl on the barbed wire, get your back scratched. You don't watch what you're doing. They don't have no plastic wire. It's barbed wire. Better to get scratched now than hit a wire that'll blow up you and all the other men. So what are you saying, Ozan? You have to be taught to be fearless. Let me share something with you. When you go to war, there are certain levels of fear. So when you go into battle, you might go in with 10 guys, 2 of them might drop out after a while and say, man, this is crazy. And get in, and 2 more might drop out and say, man, you know, this. I didn't sign up for this. But you gonna always have one guy. He gonna tell something blow him up because he is fearless. It may not be the leader. See, no matter how much you train a man, brainwash him, dope him up. Let me tell you something about God. If God wanted him to remember he got a 4-year-old at home, guess what? He don't remember the 4-year-old. And God may reach him and say, if you cut this guy's head off, you killing him for nothing. It's time to shut it down. They're using you. And he may say, man, I'm through. You might as well shoot me. Not ready you shoot me. I'm not, man, y'all something else. It'll lost y'all mind. See, this is what's wrong with men. Men ask you to do things beyond what's written. God asks you to do that which is written, and he tells you, I got you 100%. If they take your life, I lift you back up. You get killed in the military, you're going to hell if you're not a saint. Hope we know that. You get killed in the military as a saint, killing innocent people, you're going to hell as a saint. Because you got to understand, no man has authority to tell you to take the life of an innocent man. I'm so sorry to tell people that have done that. You better get it right before you die. 1 John 4:17, herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in the world. There's no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, because fear had torment. He that feared is not made perfect in love. We love him because he first loved us. So now when a brother say, hey man, you know, brother so-and-so don't like to be corrected in the class. You know, but brother, he said 4 statements that's never been in the Bible. You know, if you want to stay in the class, you got fear. You say, well, you know what? I don't not only want to be in the class, I don't want to be with this work no more if it's like that. So I'm making sure I'm saying something. Since the last class, I'm going out in a blaze of glory. And you check him, and then you tell everybody, may the Lord be with you, fare you well. And you out. And he'll be begging you to come back. You know why? Because he know he shouldn't have done that. If he got any decency left in him at all. Number 5, they must not be deceived intentionally or unintentionally. Romans chapter 16. Oh, Ozan is this simple, just as simple as all running down Aaron's beard on the bottom of his skirt when brethren dwell together. Romans 16 and 17. Now I beg you, brethren, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary, that's the key word, to the doctrine which you have learned. So you have to learn the doctrine and be contrary and avoid them. For they that are such serve not our Lord Jesus Christ, but their own belly, and by good works and fair speech deceive the hearts of the simple. Verse 19, for your obedience, now here's a report of Romans, is come abroad unto all men. I am glad therefore on your behalf, but yet I would have you wise on that which is good, and simple concerning evil. Paul said, I'm not writing it because y'all doing this. You got a good report, but I want you to be wise. The minute people read that thing, he talking about me. Paul is saying, I just want you to be wise to goodness, and I want you to be simple concerning evil. See, when you're simple, somebody may say, you know, if somebody tell you, hey man, see that dude there, take this gun and shoot him, you'd be like, what? See, you're simple to evil. Why would I do that? They got a bunch of questions, they can't do nothing with you. Hey, take this package and run across the street to that guy. What's in it? I just take it. Nah, I'm not doing that. Hey man, you better do what you say, man, I'm walking off. Man, but you come on out here and whoop me in front of everybody. Come on. Show what a man you are. Come on. Walk off. Walk off. But I'm your cousin. Just walk off. Don't even answer. And tell his mama, yo ain't he. You know, your son tried to get me to carry a bag and threaten to whoop me. She may say, don't be a teller. Say, thank you, auntie. And avoid her too. Because she the reason he like it. And she'll be at his funeral crying with a black veil on. Take it to the bank. Because that's the kind of people the policemen shoot and do not go to jail for. Oh yeah. And you won't get out sharper than nobody else to say anything. Depending on what you've done. You gotta understand something, y'all. Truth is truth. We can't live a lie. Point 6. They must be trained exactly as God has instructed them. How can you do that? As they got 2 Timothy 3. You know, you have brothers go, amen, brother, I agree with all that, and not even thinking about doing it, just lying. 2 Timothy 3:13. But evil men and seducers shall wax Worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. 2 Timothy 3:13, verse 14. But continue down the things which thou hast learned, has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. And that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith which is in Christ Jesus. Bring the little ones to church. Make sure they get way up there where they can hear. Bring him to church. Give him a crack if it's going to keep him quiet. He listen. What he say? Love Jesus. All right. Hold him. Because he's going to be bigger than you, and his muscle going to get bigger than your head. And he'll wrap them around your neck one day. Take it to the bank. Take it to the bank. You better grab him or her. And don't think a girl won't get in your face. Man, a girl will look in your face that you used to hold as a baby. Fist clenched. You better hope the Lord don't take a breath from her. Because see, I'm going to tell you something about God. He knows if you clench your fist at your mom and daddy, you can't wait to swing at me. I'm going to put you in hell now. Find yourself in a bed, not even able to do nothing but blink your eye, and they say, hi, blink once for hello. And you might live 40 more years like that. Never play with God. Because what did the Lord say? If Daniel, this is, one of the things is that we got to understand, when the Lord speaks, if Daniel want to know what's going on, or people want to know what's happening, God told Jeremiah, don't bring these people to me. Daniel read Jeremiah, said, I know why we're here 70 years. But he also told Jeremiah, if Moses prayed for these people, he would only, I'm not going to hear you. Not that you less than Moses, but you know Moses, he brought the law. He couldn't even say, so don't bring them before me no more. Sometimes as adults, you even tell others on jobs in the family, I don't want to discuss Billy going there no more. Now, if you let Billy go, it's on you. If he go to jail, he'll not get a dime from me. I'll take every dime out the bank and throw it in the window. Throw it out the window before I let him get it. Now, you better not fool with Billy if he go to jail. Because they're telling you what they're going to do. They're telling you, I'm done. The Lord told Moses, don't ask me about going there no more. I'm going to let you go see it. But you can't go. We got to learn to be like the Lord when we're right. Verse 16, all scriptures given by inspiration of God, as proper for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. And we see that. Finally, point 7. They must know how to love. Boy, it's hard for men to love. John 13. So remember, you're training men to be leaders and women to be leaders, but they're leaders in a sense without the authority. So when you get to these guys, my goodness, you got to really be careful. Because women have a greater ease in most cases to being affectionate, loving. Men have difficulty. Difficulty in saying, I love you. John 13:34. A new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another as I have loved you, that you also love one another. By this shall all men know that you're my disciples, if you love one another. You have love one to another. That's how you build a soldier. He don't have a real knife in his mouth. His knife is his tongue as he speaks the word of God. He don't have a canteen of water. He got the Holy Ghost inside. That's all the water he needs. He got the gospel of peace. That's his shoes. He don't need steel-toe boots. He's got his loins girt about with truth. He's got a vest to protect, a helmet, and that helmet is salvation. His breastplate is righteousness. He's got what he needs to fight with. Can't give him no other armor. Look at John 14:15. We're about to wrap it up. John 14:15. If you love me, keep my commandments. Wow. Look at verse 21. Boy, it gets real specific now. He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved of my Father. And I will love him and will manifest myself to him. Finally, John 15:10. If you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. Sometimes people, they talk real good Especially sometimes in Bible class, we gotta understand nobody's perfect. We know that. We gotta forgive people. And that same person about a year or two later come and tell you, I'm just not getting along with my wife. Man, I just, before I heard, I'm gonna just go on file divorce. I thought we had to love people. See, you gotta remember, you gotta know the flock. You that sheep, yeah. You're in the back, bad back there. You have to love people. I've been bad for 40 people. Yeah, but I thought we had to love people. You don't love, you can't forgive. You told me, you called me, I want that. You say, we got to understand about, she's not perfect, Bob. See, he ready to hit you now, watch it. He ready to hit you now. The most you can do is tell him, what he'll do? Just go to another church. Just go to another church. Might blame it on his wife. She want to go there. I'm trying to work it out. He just knows it's better to escape at another church. Make the great escape, slipping out the back door. If you're here now, a member of the church, don't live like that. If you are, it's time to get baptized. Recognize Jesus died, is buried, the third day, he rose again. 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4. Jesus said, he that believes and is baptized shall be saved. He that believes not shall be damned. Mark 16, 16. If you can embrace that thought, when they asked Peter, Acts 2:37, men and brethren, what shall we do? He said, change and be baptized, every one of you, in the name of Jesus Christ. Why? For the remission of sins. You shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. For the promise is unto you and unto your children, unto all that are far. Even as many as the Lord our God shall call. And many other words that he testified and encouraged them, saying, save yourself from this untoward, that is perverted generation. Then they that gladly receive his word were baptized. About 3,000 souls were added unto them. They continued steadfast in the apostles' doctrine, and the breaking of bread and in prayers. And the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. Wow. But you got to continue the fellowship. 1 John chapter 1. Man, I love that chapter. Keeps telling me you follow Christ. Follow Christ. We talked about this morning. The power of one who believes. Without Christ's faith, we'd all went to hell. Without Christ's faith, we'd all went to hell. Isn't that amazing? Wow, what a man. What a man. The eunuch wants to get baptized. Philip is alerted that there's water there. He tells him, but you got to believe with all your heart, and you may. He says, I believe Jesus Christ, the Son of God. He baptized, rejoicing begins. Paul says, for by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether Jew, Gentile, bond, or friend, are all made to drink into one Spirit. 1 Corinthians 12 and 13. Peter says it's saved. 1 Peter 3, 21 and 22, the like figure one of the even baptism is also now saved up. Not to put away the fifth offense, but the answer of a good conscience toward God by the resurrection of Jesus Christ, who's gone into heaven, angels, authorities, and powers being made subject unto him. The devil don't have to get your soul. He just needs to put you in a physical grip. Maybe it's financial. Amen. Maybe it's health. Maybe it's a physical grip in a marriage where there's a turmoil. Maybe a physical grip in a parental home where there's turmoil. Maybe it's on your job there's trouble. You need that job bad. He just put you in a vice where you're stuck. I can't get out. And then he just comes whisper, I don't know why Jesus let you get into this. He's a good Savior, but sometimes he's too busy. But you start questioning, before you know it, you're wearing orange, playing a tambourine. Isn't that amazing? You don't even look or sound like you used to. Or maybe you're still in the building looking the same way, but inside, rotten to the core. Just believing what you want. I don't care what they say. I do believe my grandma saved and everybody else on earth and many in other religions. I don't care what they say. But I'm going to stay here. Why? Because I'm a son of Belial. They do pray. I know this group do pray and good stuff happened to me. You'll get to keep all your stuff. But at the end, hell is your lot. It's amazing. The rich man died rich. Probably had a beautiful funeral. The Bible didn't say he died a pauper. He died rich. But his end was hell. Something went wrong. Something in his heart didn't work right. Before Brother Keith come up and lead us in prayer for the souls that may have response, I want to ask you to remember, if you're working to build up a soul, please recognize the points we mentioned. And there are many others you can bring up. Those are just a few. We can't teach all night. We got to stop. But if you do it the way the Lord said, you know who you can blame when they go wrong? Them and nobody else. If you need to be baptized, hit the triangle. It'll show you phone numbers On the screen, you call the number, we'll tell you where to go no matter where you at. If you living on an island and somebody that loves Jesus there, we'll show you. If you need to be baptized, you'll stay standing. But if you're here and you're a member of the church, you've gotten off track, you need prayer. Please don't be afraid. You can't tell us everything, maybe that's fine. Just tell us you need prayer. Come down, but together we stand and sing Elvis' invitation. And his life a ransom, yonder run Calvary.